Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening, good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Anuradha ma'am, Vijay sir, Miss Sarita Varya, and all educators.
Good evening, Vijay sir.
I think we are set to go, right? Yes, sir. Vijay sir, over to you.
Ms. Anuradha is a dedicated and enthusiastic primary math teacher at the Sri Ram Universal School in Hyderabad, where she works with students in grades 2 to 5. Her love for math shines through in her engaging and inclusive classroom environment. Driven by a passion for education, Ms. Anuradha transitioned from a career in IT to teaching. She embraces each day as an opportunity for learning and strives for excellence in all her endeavors. Hearty welcome, Ms. Anuradha. The stage is...
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Shall we go start?
Yes, please start.
Yes. A very good evening, everyone. Greetings from Extra Mile. Extra Mile is an exclusive platform created by the founder of BTAC, Dr. Abdul Salam, for providing online-offline training. Having a pool of resource persons, Extra Mile is resourceful to provide on-site training on demand across India. Before we begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam and Extra Mile Education and Training for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And a hearty welcome to all the participants. The National Professional Standards for Teachers, NPST, is a guiding document that helps all the stakeholders involved in preparing and producing high-quality teachers. It provides a clear skills pathway for the teachers, right from their decision to becoming a teacher until they complete their teaching journey. The Teacher's Competency Self-Evaluation Framework, which is a TCSF, helps us in achieving this. So before we begin with today's session, there are a few things I would like to brief you about. Any queries during the session can be conveyed through the meeting chat box. In order to have an interactive experience, you may clear your doubts by asking questions. Kindly use your virtual hand raise button and wait for your name to be called out. The participants will have the opportunity to receive the certificate only after filling the certificate and feedback form, the link for which will be shared at the end of the session. So kindly stay connected till the end of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst us, we have Mr. Biju S. Pillai. Mr. Pillai is the co-founder of BTAC and has a vast experience in the field of education in many capacities, including being the principal of many reputed CBSE schools. Sir, we are honored to have your gracious presence amidst us. I request Mr. Biju S. Pillai to felicitate the gathering with his kind words.
Thank you, Anuradha ma'am. Most respected resource person of the day, Dr. Abdul Salam sir. Sarita Varya ma'am. Other respected dignitaries on the platform and all the other educators. Good evening to all. So as we are coming to the National Professional Standard for Teachers, shortly known as the NPST, actually developed by the National Council for Teacher Education for guiding documents to be what we can say a compendium of the guiding principles, articulating the anticipated responsibilities and competencies inherent to the role of a teacher across varying levels of expertise and differences. Today amongst us, we have the most respected resource person and a master trainer who is guiding us since pandemic, bringing all the educators under one platform and guiding us in all the different important topics for an educator or for a CBSE teacher to act upon. And as a guide, he is doing a great job for the nation and for the educators. So I welcome him wholeheartedly on behalf of myself and all the CBSE resource teachers to this platform. Hearty welcome, sir, and may we have a wonderful evening, gaining more knowledge about national professional standards for teachers. So let me thank everyone for taking this golden opportunity. Now the platform, I think, is completely packed up. So let us come back to our resource person. Thank you, Anuradha ma'am. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Rightly said, sir. Rightly said. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. We have 300 participants. Yes, you said rightly. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the speaker for today's session, our very own Dr. Abdul Salam. Dr. Salam is a CBSE resource person and a master trainer. He is the founder and CEO of BTAC and Extra Mile Education and Training. He has worked as the assessor of National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, Government of India. Sir, it is indeed our pleasure to have your gracious presence, and I would request you to take over the proceedings of the evening. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Anuradha. Thank you, Viju sir. Thank you, all the educators who have joined today. Well, we have gathered here to talk about NPST, National Professional Standards for Teachers. We will go through the guiding manual that is prepared and issued by NCTA, National Council for Teacher Education. Before that, we have to see the background. Why the government, why ministry has issued such a guideline. What is the importance of such guidelines and professional standard, the so-called professional standards for teachers? The background, as everybody knows, is nothing else but national education policy itself. To achieve the objectives of national education policy, we have been talking about different pedagogies and different assessment strategies and how learning should take place, how students should be enrolled. But at the same time, we should understand that it all lies upon one center figure of the story, the teacher, the center pillar of an institution, upon whom everything depends. That is the very reason NEP has suggested upbringing of teachers, equipping teachers for quality education. That is the reason we are here today. Before we begin, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the teachers and give them a big salute for being the role model, the guiding star, the mentor, the nurse, the caregiver, everything to a student. Without you, the school cannot exist. Even without principals, the school can run, but without teachers, school cannot run. So a big salute to all the teachers. Thank you so much for joining, and let us see what are the responsibilities and expectations ministry is having on teachers, so that we as nation builders will fulfill all our duties and responsibilities. Let me share my slide. Is it?
It's not slideshow mode, sir. Yeah, now it is.
Okay. So we have been discussing or talking about national professional standards for teachers, that is, prepared and issued by National Council for Teacher Education. Before we begin, I would like to draw your attention to these two pictures, and I would like to have an interactive session. You can use your chat box and see and type what you have to talk about, what you infer from these two pictures. Just a few words. And I would appreciate if the moderator, I mean Anuradha ma'am, Sarita ma'am would like to, talk about in between. I don't mind. You can help me. Other educators who have joined also can, they can interact with us through the chat medium.
So many are saying that happy children, a happy teacher, globalization, teacher is smart and friendly, happy schooling.
Everything
Teachers and
happy.
students, yes, teacher has to be smiling and friendly, happy environment.
Okay.
Children copy their teachers.
Okay.
First, kids following the teacher, second, rote learning. That's a different answer there. Happy classrooms, global teaching, happy
Okay.
teacher, happy children. So these are the things.
Yes. So everything is centered around happiness.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So for the students to be happy, the teachers have to be happy,
Yes.
right? Where does this happiness lie upon the salary or the commitments? We will see. So anyway, it's an opportunity for everybody to look into ourselves, right?
Yes.
Before that, I would like to draw your attention to a story that has happened that tells how powerful a teacher is. Most of you must be knowing this story, right? Sarita ma'am, aware of this story?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, once, that is in 1994, when Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, the then president, visited Sultanate of Oman on an official trip, three unusual things happened. Why unusual? Because normally the Sultan does not go to the airport to receive the guests. But that day it happened. He went himself to the airport. And second thing, he went in the aircraft to the seat where Shankar Dayal Sharma was sitting and greeted him and welcomed him. And third thing is, upon coming down, ushering him to the cab, Sultan himself drove the president as his passenger. Three unusual things as far as the Sultan of Sultan Qaboos, it was, from the Sultanate of Oman was concerned. When media persons and all asked, he said, I did not go to meet the president of India. I went to welcome the great Pandit from India, from where I learned a lot, and he was the professor when I was studying in Pune. See, that is the power of a teacher. Don't worry about you get very less salary or no salary, but this is the wealth. Wherever you go, you are recognized. And you may not be recognized because we do not, come up to the expectations of the students and the education. So definitely all teachers will be recognized because of their hard work. Every teacher is doing wonderful job. Lots and lots of periods and lots of work and no complaint. Of course, to whom we should complain, right? We have to complain to ourselves, but at the back of the mind, we have to think that, yes, because of me, a good number of children are getting what they are supposed to get. I am molding, I am bringing up a generation who is going to contribute to the nation. So it is everybody's responsibility. NEP, the government or the ministry alone cannot do anything. It is the overall effort, the concerted effort of everybody. We have to work, all of us should work together. All the diplomats, all the, what do you call, principals or leaders, heads and HODs, all teachers, all government staff, everybody should work hand in hand. Then only we can achieve the objective of NEP. So that is where we have come to learn about national professional standards of teachers. You must be knowing, many countries there is a teacher license. It is called a teacher license, especially in the UAE. If you are to be called qualified, you have to qualify a test conducted by the Ministry of Education. That is a teacher's license. Then only you can enroll yourself as a teacher in any of the schools, even if it is government school or private school. The same scenario, you can relate this to the same scenario wherein across India, all over India, what do you call, set of standard, professional standard is set for the teachers so that quality can be enhanced. Teachers, they upgrade themselves as professionals, and there is much professionalism, professional kind of teaching, and students grow themselves as very well refined citizens, and that ultimately reflects in the nation. So NCTE, National Council for Teacher Education, has issued this guideline, a set of professional standards for teachers. And please listen to this video that tells everything about National Professional Standards for Teachers.
So is there any audio in this? So we are not able to hear any audio.
Audio is not available?
No, sir.
For me, it is available. Let me check.
You'll have to share again with audio, maybe, sir.
So maybe with advanced settings.
Yeah. Now?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. I will tell you. Okay. This is what is spoken about in the video is what we have here in text. It was talking about the mission of National Professional Standards for Teachers, and it is put forth by National Council for Teacher Education. What is the mission? What is the objective of this initiative? Am I audible, Anuradha ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because so many bars are coming in between. Okay.
Okay.
Well.
You.
Okay.
Yes.
National Professional Standards for Teachers, they seek to fulfill NEP 2020's objectives of ensuring that all teachers should be enthusiastic. First thing, enthusiastic teachers, highly qualified, well prepared. Next thing, well prepared, then and equipped to teach all learners of all levels of schooling. So 4 things. The teacher has to be enthusiastic, highly qualified. When we talk about highly qualified teachers, we have highly qualified teachers, but you can take Finland as a model, where very much highly qualified teachers are only appointed where in the foundation stage, because that is the foundation building of a child. So they employ highly skilled and qualified teachers in the foundation stage. That is very much required. So that scenario should happen in India as well. So it will happen definitely, but at the same time, we as teachers should, continue learning on a higher scale, upgrade ourselves. We'll come back to that. Well prepared, going to the class with much preparation, because there are diverse learners. We cannot have the same, size for everyone, and equipped to teach all learners. That is what, all learners. And NEP wants us to shift learning from rote to higher order thinking, critical thinking, inquiry based, and 21st century skills, to enhance the 21st century skills. That is the quintessence of NEP. Then make learning multidisciplinary. Connect one discipline to the other, so that the student automatically learns, okay, this is the same thing that we have learned in maths. So it is correlated. Multilingualism, promote multilingualism. Let the students think in their own language, no problem. And enable students to value and integrate the indigenous legacy of knowledge. Okay. Moving to next, the need of the hour is drawing the best talent to the teaching profession. The teacher should be the best talented, skilled, highly skilled and qualified. Then only we can increase the standard of education. We can enhance the standard of education. So we all have to upgrade ourselves to match the latest generation, because the symptoms and the trends, the features of the latest generation is much different from our generation, and we have to rise to the occasion. Well, expectations. What is expected of teachers at various career stages? Maybe primary teacher or secondary teacher or higher secondary teacher or kindergarten teacher, whatever. So outline the expectations is that of teachers at various career stages and various levels of expertise, as well as the competencies needed for each. The professional standards will be reviewed, and it is, this 2020 it was supposed to come along with NEP, and now it will run for 10 years, and after 10 years there will be a review, and this guidelines will be implemented across the country, whether it is government school or private school, whether it is any sort of autonomous school or in whatever, it will be implemented, and the principals of institutions are requested to use these guidelines for implementation and appraisal of their staff, so that the school education will be the qualitative, very qualitative. And every 10 years after that, based on the analysis. Moving next. 3 levels of teachers are identified by NPST, National Professional Standards for Teachers. This is a kind of, after much discussions with stakeholders, principals, HODs, and all, people across the different walks of life, they had several discussions, and through the discussions and all, they identified that mainly teachers can be categorized into 3. I don't know how each institution appraises teachers. How many categories are there, or how rating is done? Usually in some schools I have seen teachers are rated from 1 to 5. Performance 1, performance 2, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. And a teacher belonging to P3 is considered to be good, in the category of good teachers. And next level, very good, then outstanding. P4 very good, P5 outstanding. Teachers belonging to P2, that is performance level 2, they are on improvement stage. They will be given 1 year for improvement. And P1 teachers, any teacher who is falling under the category of P1. I'm talking about a few schools which are appraising teachers on such scales. Many schools use many scales, many criteria for appraisal of teachers. So NEP, that is NPST, speaks about only 3 kinds of teachers, that too from P3, P4, P5. Nothing less than P3. Nothing less than good category of teachers. Right? So who are the 3 categories of teachers? One is called the Praveen Shikshak. The first category, out of the 3 category, the first teacher, the proficient teacher, who may be, you may, in your term, you can call junior teacher or whatever, but she is independently, able to work independently with her lesson plans, and she demonstrates her skills because she is a good teacher, right? Praveen, she has that skill, Praveen Shikshak. And though she is independent, she is a learner. Everybody is a learner, but she needs the support of mentors at school level. So we begin with the Praveen Shikshak, nothing less than that. So everybody who are working, now we will have kind of SWOT analysis after this, where you will have checklist. Please keep a pen and paper with you. You can mark, you can tick the checklist and see where you stand. So we are talking about the Praveen Shikshak teacher and the proficient teacher, that is called a proficient teacher. She will demonstrate her skill to organize curricular content. She is able to, do the lesson planning, do the annual pedagogical planning, select resources and all daily activities of the school independently. But at the same time, she requires help from others, like a mentee, as she is a mentee, and there will be mentors. And she knows how to interact with the stakeholders, that is parents and school management. So she is a good teacher. Now we are moving to the second category of teachers, the advanced teacher, Unnat Shikshak, advanced teacher, Unnat Shikshak. So she is called, NSPT calls, NPCST calls, this second category of teachers is Unnat Shikshak, advanced teacher. He or she embodies the utmost standards of teaching, grounded in the best practices relating to the teaching learning process. Then peer leader to the teachers at the proficient. So a proficient teacher will be depending upon, at times, the advanced teacher for guiding, for guidelines and for mentoring. And the advanced teacher shall be observed, and the advanced teacher also should be handheld by the principal, HOD, supervisor, whoever, for training the advanced teacher. The advanced teacher mentors the proficient teacher, and he is aware to apply the latest trends in education, adapt and act, and with a greater agency, being aware of the developing subject, what all upgradation is happening in his subject, and to work with new curricular content and across curricular content, that is multi-curricular. We are going to the expert teacher, that is according to the National Professional Standards of Teaching, the third level of teacher is called expert teacher. So we have to see where we have to belong to, whether we should remain the proficient teacher or the advanced teacher or the expert teacher. Expert teacher does not mean that he is the oldest one. Just because of the picture, do not think that expert teacher is very old and senior. But definitely, in most cases, we can take because of the experience, because experience matters. And but experience, maybe the teacher must have worked in 20 years or 25 years, but unless and until the teacher has it meets the requirement of the present age, she cannot be the expert teacher, right? That we'll come to know. And he embodies the highest standard in teaching with exceptional capacity, and he performs the role of a mentor or peer leader. And because in a institution, he can be approached for learning, for corrections, for guidelines, for advice, and he will continually seek to develop his own professional knowledge and practice, and he trains others. The expert teacher trains others, the proficient teacher and the expert teacher, I mean the advanced teacher. The expert teacher shall be involved in peer observations. At the same time, he also is a learner. Everybody is a learner. He also observes, he also attends others' classes and learns himself for correction. He also have to correct, because different people, different teachers have different capacities, different skills, different knowledge level, different expertise. So these are the three levels of teachers. We saw which are the levels of teachers, three categories of teachers: the proficient, the advanced, and the expert. Now that we have seen the the salient features of NPST, National Professional Standards for Teachers, in line with that, CBSE has also issued a checklist for teachers, for for an introspection, to check how qualitative the teaching is going on, and how expert or how advanced the teacher is. So the next part of the session will be focusing mainly on CBSE's competency, to measure the competency of teachers. So we'll talk more about teachers' competency self-evaluation framework now. So we have taken the salient features of NPST. Now we will be focusing on the checklist, where you need to have your pen and paper and to check yourself. So for which I require the help of Anuradha ma'am and Sarita ma'am in between.
Yes, sir.
This is what teacher self-evaluation framework. Rightly said. We have to know ourselves. When the moment we start to know ourselves, that is the beginning of all wisdom. I don't know how many of us introspect often. What are our strengths and what are our weaknesses? Whether we do any kind of SWOT analysis. When I was teaching in Dubai, we have a group of teachers, male teachers. We used to discuss amongst ourselves and tell us, there is no harm. They will tell us, I will also tell them about their weakness and their strengths. And we were on a mission to improve ourselves in all aspects. So such kind of, initiative is required from teachers. First, we have to know about ourselves. That is the beginning of all wisdom. So Aristotle has rightly said. So we'll move to the checklist now. 18 major checklist aspects of competence has been identified. Aspects of competence has been identified by CBSE, and they have released the checklist. I would like to interact with the participants. What do you think would be the 18 major aspects? What are the features? What are the qualities the CBSE may be talking about when we talk about teachers having their professional standards and all. So can you use the chat box? What do you think? These 18 major aspects, some of the major aspects as far as a teacher is concerned, all come to the chat box and you can use the chat box.
Subject proficiencies.
Subject knowledge, okay.
Knowledge, competency, goals, subject proficiency, patience.
Okay.
Okay, it's going very fast. Patience,
Technical
positive
skills.
thinking,
Technical
yeah,
skills also.
technical skills, communication, classroom management, mostly
management.
facilitate than lecture, planning, time management, being interactive, student friendly, teaching aids, communication, well equipped, up to date, understand student friendly manner, inclusive, collaboration, critical thinking, classroom management, competent, enthusiastic, facilitator, again inclusive, real-time
Yes.
examples, feedback from students, classroom management, problem solving skills,
Correct.
student counseling, connectivity,
Mostly they said,
flexible,
mostly they said.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Anuradhavan. Thank you,
Yes.
participants. You have rightly said, but there are a few more things which, we sometimes we do not take care. We will see that. First thing, as somebody has, mentioned, it is very important. Communication.
Communication.
Right. So participants, by this term communication, what do you understand? As far as a teacher is concerned, what do you understand when CBSE speaks about a teacher's communication level? Communication competency. We are talking about competency. So what do you understand from this? What are the expectations by CBSE upon a teacher? Yes, come to
Learning.
the chat room. Yeah.
Clarity,
okay.
clarity, confidence.
Confidence, very good.
Teach the way the child will understand better, body language,
Body
empathy,
language, correct.
clarity, patience, knowing the child, good listening skills,
Good listening skills.
fluency,
All right.
empathy.
Okay. And what a teacher is to do with the communication as far as a student is concerned?
Diction and pronunciation, language proficiency.
So that first of all, the teacher should have the proficient communication level of proficiency. Then only we can expect the same from students,
child,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So a teacher should know the latest, trends in communication,
Yes.
especially in writing. We should never give anything wrong to the children. So, and also the children, sometimes, it is understood through gesture language also. That is, somebody was talking about body language. The teacher should, learn the body language of the children. The children also learns the body language of the teacher.
Yes.
Right. So that is very important to know, to use the body language. Sometimes you need not speak. Body language will tell the student what is expected. And we should be able to understand the body language of the students, what the student is requiring. Right. Ms. Sarita, can you please read it out for the
Yes,
participants? And so participants, please check. This is the proficiency of communication, and just tick and see where you stand.
May I, sir?
Yeah, please.
Communication skills. This aspect assesses the competence in effective communication and enhanced exchange of ideas between the teacher and the students, fostering a healthy interpersonal relationship. Number 1, am I able to exchange thoughts and ideas confidently? Number 2, am I able to establish a connect by way of communication with the students? Number 3, am I adept at transferring information which is understood by the receiver? Number 4, am I able to augment the LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills among the students for enhanced communication? Number 5, do I know the concept of body language? Number 6, am I able to apply syntactical, phonetic, and semantic variations in classroom communication. Number 7, do I adopt the latest trends in written communication in the classroom? Number 8, do I apply the concept of body language in understanding students' behavior? Number 9, am I able to apply innovative experiments and the latest trends in LSRW? Number 10, am I able to conduct various activities related to communication skills? Number 11, can I create resources that motivate students for improving their communication skills? And number 12, can I generate Facebook mechanism for students for developing their communication skills?
Feedback mechanism, right?
Feedback mechanism.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
feedback. That's my bad, sir. Feedback
Yeah,
mechanism.
thank you so much. So when talking about communication, first of all, the accent. The student who imitates the teacher, if the accent is wrong, the student will continue with the same accent. Whoever is trying to correct the student, he will not correct. We say that child is father of the man, right? What he is learning in his childhood, he will continue. My teacher taught that this is the right pronunciation. So as teachers, we have to see that the right pronunciation is given to the students. Not only English teachers, whether it is science teachers or social science teachers, there are many terms, international terms also. Sometimes we, pronounce as just like our convenience. No, there will be a definition in the dictionary how it is to be pronounced. For example, I have heard many teachers saying denku. Actually, the pronunciation is denki. So we are giving wrong pronunciation to students. So as a fine teacher with finest communication skills, we have to take care of the pronunciation of every word we utter in the classroom. We have to be as much careful as possible.
Can I add
So-
one point, sir?
Yes, please.
Even in maths, communication is important in math as well, because when I teach the primary students, right, I get to know even the simplest word like subtraction.
Yeah.
Some of the like their parents have started saying it as subtraction. So
Okay.
when I tell them it's subtraction, then they say okay. Then they go and tell their parents it's not subtraction, it is subtraction. So even simple words as that also we need to be careful.
Correct. Thank you for adding. Yeah, there are many, simple things which are neglected, which are not taken care of. So now, as professional standards for teachers have come, we have to upgrade ourselves and we have to, deliberately work on improving ourselves. Moving to the next thing, academic competence. So what do you understand by academic competence? Come to the chat box. Let us discuss academic competence.
Subject expertise, teaching, learning resources, thorough knowledge of subject, well-versed in subject, skilled, cognitive skills,
Okay.
knowledge, updation, urge to perform, accurate knowledge,
Okay.
emotional skills, subject knowledge. Most of them are saying subject knowledge.
Subject knowledge.
Thinking
Okay.
out of the box.
Okay, good. Correct. Thank you. So next thing. So first thing is communication, finest communication. Next thing is academic competence. So if a school is appraising teachers, they will be appraising teachers all these areas. You can see an observation checklist. You can see whether the teacher's communication, how good is the teacher's communication, subject knowledge, how good is the teacher's subject knowledge. When we speak about subject knowledge, it talks about everything, because we as a teachers, we cannot give wrong information to students. I often hear from, here and there from schools. In school, they teach one thing, but in tuition center, they teach a different thing. And the tuition teacher says that is correct. The school teacher says that is correct. Right? But whoever is correct, we should make sure that we are, preparing well. If we don't know the, a particular subject or particular concept, that is where we have mentorship in school. Peer mentorship in school. We should never feel like any kind of, inferiority or ego in approaching the expert or, advanced teachers. It's very essential that whatever knowledge we give to the students is correct. We have to make sure. You see the checklist, get ready for the, I think, Anuradha ma'am, can you please read?
Yes, sir. There are 13 points, right, sir?
Yes, please. 14 points.
14, I can only see 13, sir, on my screen. So
Yeah,
I will
Sarita
read.
ma'am, can you see 14th one?
There are 14, Anuradha.
There are 14?
Yes,
14
ma'am.
I will read, no problem.
Okay, 14. Okay, this the content subject matter academic competence. This aspect assesses the acumen of the teacher in the subject, planning and awareness of processes, strategies, and resources to facilitate the effective student learning. Now, what are the checklists? Do I have a thorough understanding of the subject? Am I aware of the learning objectives and learning outcomes of the subject? Am I aware of the curriculum of the subject to be transacted? Do I know the latest developments in the subject and apply them in my everyday teaching? Do I have defined pedagogical plans for content delivery? Do my pedagogical plans have scope for latest pedagogical techniques and use of ICT? Am I able to use my knowledge to create the course content in interesting and diverse ways? Am I able to adopt an interdisciplinary approach to teaching? Do I prepare proper and interesting lesson plans with progressive teaching learning techniques like collaborative learning, experiential learning, incorporation of art, sports, values, life skills, and use of ICT? Do I prepare differentiated instructional lesson plans to meet the needs of all type of learners in the class? Do I contribute in the creation of resources that ignite the love for learning? Do I create student-centric learning resources? And do I create multidisciplinary content resources? These all are I can see, sir.
Yeah, do I create assignments that engage students hands-on learning? Thank you, Anuradha ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So, in academic competence, where do we stand? So these are the requirements as far as when we talk about academic competence. These are the requirements. Whether we do adopt a student-centered teaching learning approach, whether we are using all the pedagogical approaches that is suggested by CBSE and all other boards. There are different pedagogical practices. Are we practicing that? Are we using ICT? Are we using interdisciplinary approach in teaching? All these matters a lot. When when we meet all these requirements, we can say that we have the academic competence. Otherwise, we have to improve ourselves. Moving to the next. Talking about competence to create a conducive learning environment. So what all things are involved in learning environment, creating a learning environment? Can you put the chat box? I would like to have a few things when we talk about learning environment. How do you set your learning environment in the classroom? How a teacher should set a learning environment in the classroom? What all things we have to take care of when we talk about learning environment? Student-friendly approach.
Approach.
Okay.
Should be interactive.
Okay.
Innovative strategies, interactive classroom, one-on-one interaction, rapport, create curiosity, comfortable classrooms, yes, good environment, student-friendly, collaborative works, positive environment, leading by examples, life skills, threat-free, age-appropriate materials, putting down the noise in the classroom, creativity, setting routines and emotional needs to be satisfied, motivation, Learning objectives should be clear to understand, be positive, safe classroom, differentiated tasks,
Okay,
skills,
okay.
aids.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm.
Mostly, well said.
Yes,
Well, I like that one statement is comfortable.
comfortable, please.
Comfortable. What is that? Learning, right?
Comfortable, yes.
Comfortable learning. That is creating an environment. The student should feel comfortable and should be in a reception mood.
Comfortable
Right.
classrooms is what.
Comfortable, yes. They should be in a reception mode, receptive mode.
Yes.
So we will see what all things come under environment creation. It starts from right from the setting of the environment. That is the depending upon the size of the classroom, the arrangement of physical arrangement of furniture. Then the visibility. When students, when they sit at the back, whether they are able to see what is displayed in front, whether the font size is apt for the students who are sitting in the back, they can see. When we write on the board, whether it is visible for the students. So everything matters when we talk about learning environment. Sarita ma'am, please.
Yes, sir. Number 3, learning environment creation competency. For assessing competency to develop and contribute to a nurturing learning environment coupled with innovation and motivation to maximize active learning opportunities. Number 1, do I have clear ideas about a healthy and engaging learning environment? 2, do I organize my classroom in different ways, placement of desks and chairs to maximize class interaction? Do I have age-appropriate display boards in my class? Can I perceive the pulse of the class? Am I able to connect with the students and encourage interaction by being available for them? Do I inspire, create enthusiasm, and motivate the students and provide opportunities to them to bring out the best in them? Do I assign challenging but achievable tasks to give students some control over their learning? Do I arouse the curiosity among students and help them explore through experiential learning? Can I instill confidence in every child and appreciate diversity? Am I able to develop interpersonal skill among my students? Do I take up such teaching learning activities which result in an interactive classroom? Am I innovative and create or add something new to my teaching methodology from time to time? Sir, if I may just speak a few words here.
Yes, please.
I'm reminded of a session by our very own Ranjani Harigopal, one of the sessions where she had given amazing techniques and ways to set a very conducive environment specifically for the younger classes. And most of those were applicable for classes from 1 to 12. So when I was reading all these points, I'm reminded about Ranjani's sessions. So those were very, very good ones.
Rightly said. And it all, points to the first thing, the first requirement, enthusiastic teacher.
Absolutely.
Right. So an enthusiastic teacher sets an enthusiastic environment in the classroom. Sometimes, some teachers go to the classroom, whether the classroom is ready or not, starts teaching. For what? I have, many times I have told the teachers, do not start teaching unless and until the class is settled. The class is in a receptive mode. And you have to set the class ready through your enthusiasm, through your preparedness. You have to prepare a transition technique and come, because the students are sitting right from morning 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock till 3:30, 4 o'clock. So it is every teacher's responsibility to see that it is not the mission of completing the portion. It is to see that all the learners are getting what is expected from the lesson. Then only the teacher can take a teachers can feel relief that yes, I have done a wonderful class today. All the students were benefited from my learning. Even the high achievers, the gifted children, I gave them challenging tasks today. They were all engaged in learning. And I sat with the slow learners also. So this is creating a learning environment. You can group them according to their, abilities, and wherever you're required, you have to go and sit and help. And that is how. So a lot of requirements are there, and I hope you must have picked which all things you are practicing. Otherwise, you have to note that we have to do it, so that then only everybody has to work together. Then only we can fulfill the requirements. Moving next to the professional development. Professional development. So when we talk about professional development, what all things come in your mind? Let us have 2 minutes interaction on the chat box. Professional development. How we can professionally develop ourselves? Which all ways? Which are the things we have to do? Training, first of all, training, continuous updation. Okay.
I would say joining extra mile sessions, sir.
Yes. We have conducted more than 250, nearly 250 sessions till date.
Yes, and the best part is it's in YouTube, so we can always go back and check what we have missed.
Correct. Peer
So training,
evaluation,
updating ourselves, teaching methodologies, attending webinars, peer evaluations.
micro teaching, reading books and
Micro-teaching.
updating ourselves.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Training, self-study. Okay.
Self-study.
All right. First of all, in order to have a professional development plan, we should know about ourselves, right? So we need to have a SWOT analysis first. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What things stand in my way? What are the threats? What are the opportunities? See, I have a lot of opportunities, but I am not utilizing. See, I could have, used this particular, technology in my classroom, so that the learning, the teaching would be very interesting. So many things. Research work, learning from others, right? And preparing a development plan. The development plan should be, what do you call SMART plan? SMART goal, you can say. What is SMART goal? What is SMART? S stands for very specific. Our goal should be very specific. It should be measurable. It should be attainable, realistic, and within a time frame. We should set SMART goals for our professional development. Sarita ma'am, please.
Yes, sir. Professional development measures. This aspect will assess efforts taken by a teacher to stay updated and develop proficiency and persist in the path of self-improvement. Am I honest to myself and do a SWOT test? Do I create a professional development plan for myself by identifying SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time frame, career goals? Do I chart out a course of action for self-development? Do I explore avenues to build up my teaching skills? Do I seek help from seniors? Do I learn from peers by regularly observing their classes and interaction with them? Do I experiment with new teaching methodology? Do I read books related to new pedagogical approaches? Am I a part of cluster schools where inter-school lesson observation and sharing of ideas takes place? Do I regularly and actively participate in the in-house training sessions?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So mostly training. It's very, what do you call, hard to find time for training, right? Because we are engaged in teaching, assessment, corrections and all, but it is very important. It is inevitable that training cannot be missed. So wherever training is there, please find time to attend training, because we will get something or the other from each training session. I'm not talking about extra mile training alone. I'm talking about all the training given by CBSE, whether it is given by CBSE, NCERT or any bodies. Please do attend trainings, because learning is a continuous process, lifelong process, and through training only we can develop our knowledge and expertise. So please, and learn from others, discuss with them, and adopt, new methodology. And there is a concept by CBSE hub of schools. You must have heard. Your school also must be belonging to different clusters of schools, wherein why these clusters are formed in order to have mutual learning benefits. You have to have exchange of teachers, exchange of students, peer observations, go to other school and learn, visit other teachers' class. Do not feel that if I go to my colleagues or co-workers classroom, she will think that, oh, she does not know anything. That's why she came to my class. Never have such feeling, never have any kind of inferiority feeling. That is a very good sign that we are a keen learner. We are on the job of self-development. Moving to next. This very inevitable digital competency, without me telling, without discussing, everybody knows. In order to be compatible with, you have to be compatible. When we talk about the term compatible, we use it for devices, right? So we as teachers also should be compatible for the present generation, because they know much better than us. So use the same devices or technology in order to give our lessons. It's very time saving. Even now itself, many teachers do not know how to use, mail properly. They don't know the features of the different features in Google Mail, Gmail. There is a spam mail. Many, complain to us that they didn't get, certificates and all. They never know that there is a spam folder, because unregistered email IDs may go to spam folder because of safety. So these are very, very, simple things. I'm not telling that everybody, but a few still. So, but technology is inevitable these days. There are multiple, use of features of technology. Even the mobile phone we are using, we don't know. We may be knowing only 20% of the features. The 80% of the features are not known to us. You can use your cell phone for a classroom teaching. There are many features. You can download apps and use. So unless and until we are tech savvy, then our classroom are going to be not interesting, but time consuming. It takes time. So, but technology will give you, it's a time saver. So please let us make technology very important, and as far as possible, please learn. You can use, I don't know how many of you use ChatGPT and all these days. You can ask anything, it will give you, and you can use. If you want a lesson plan, you ask ChatGPT. Only thing is, you are the master. ChatGPT is the servant. The servant gives you the lesson plan. You have to see, you have to check the accuracy of the lesson plan and use it. There is a difference. So please use ChatGPT and all the artificial intelligence in the classroom for good use. Quickly, we can read Anuradha ma'am.
Yes, digital competency. This has been designed for understanding of current educational technology and its integration in instructional practices in order to maximize student learning. The 9 points in digital competency are: do I have digital competency at least a basic level? Do I keep abreast with the latest development in the field of education technology? Do I have a working knowledge of MS Word, MS Excel, that's a PowerPoint, etc., that will ease my work? Do I manage time and enhance my knowledge base with the help of digital literacy? Do I have a web resource for content development and research? Do I use technology-enabled interesting activities, resources for students? Do I have digital tools to measure and analyze the progress of the students in the class? Do I have all data like student details, new CBSE initiatives, etc. stored online? And do I have digital planning, monitoring, and management of individual educational graph of every student?
Thank you, ma'am. You can see, you can just click and see how, tech savvy we are. Otherwise, we have to develop ourselves, enhance our technological knowledge. Now, many of us do practice inclusion in our teaching, because inclusion is very important, because you can see there are students with medical conditions, then behavioral issues, medical issues, then development, cognitive development issues, learning disabilities, and mental health issues. So in a classroom of 30 or 35 students, you can see different students with different issues. So one lesson plan which is meant for the whole class should have an inclusive nature, inclusion in nature, so that it will cater to the different diverse learners in the classroom. Very, very essential. I think we had a very important session last week wherein we elaborated on the need to differentiate your learning. So differentiation of your teaching practice, teaching is very much required here. If you are catering to the child with learning disabilities, you need to have a very, very basic lesson for them, activity for them, with the help of tools and all. You have to sit with them. So this is teaching is a very big task, but if it is taken in its true spirit, it becomes an art, and the skill of the teachers make the teaching very easy, and the students get benefited. So inclusiveness for diverse learners very important. Sarita ma'am, please read it for the participants.
Yes. Inclusive measures to know if the teacher demonstrates an ability to embrace and impart the appreciation of diversity, practicing inclusion in teaching practices and planning, thereby counteracting prejudices. Do I acknowledge and appreciate diversity and inclusion in my classroom? Do I connect with and engage with a variety of students? Do I prepare such lesson plans incorporating such activities that support the learning abilities of diverse learners in the classroom? Do I provide participatory learning opportunities to all students? Do I create flowchart or concept maps for conceptual understanding? Do I discuss and decide on the role of the tutor and learner with the students? Do I engage in shared planning and teaching? Do I encourage peer-to-peer instruction and leadership? Do I frame proper timelines to manage work? Do I create channels of communication? Do I strategically plan innovative and creative activities for differentiated learners? Do I know strategies of inclusive or differentiated assessments? Do I use more diverse modes of assessment with proficiency? Do I create an environment of confidence that encourages students to ask for support outside of the classroom?
Thank you. Well, right. Well, you can see these are the requirements for inclusion in the classroom. So please do practice. If it is not, we may be complaining of time limit and all, time management, time is less and all. But once we plan with the help of the students in the classroom itself, you can implement the lesson. There are high achievers, gifted children, you can make use of them so that you can save your time. So you have to implement the lessons in a very, a differential manner.
So could you expand a little on, do I create channels of communication?
Okay, so do I create, you cannot communicate the same thing to, diverse learners, right? So there is the reason I said, you can just lecture or you can dictate to the high achievers. They will write. Okay. So, but to the low learners or the children with disabilities, you have to go and sit with them. That is setting channels for communication. So otherwise, your communication may not reach everybody equally. Right.
Okay.
Well, going to next, gender sensitivity. Gender sensitivity is very important when, especially these days, when we speak about, gender equality and all, we are not supposed to, differentiate children based on their gender, right? And also you cannot call them boys, girls in the classroom. That's also a differentiation. You can call children. They are because they are children. They are all alike. There is no difference between girls and boys. Don't call boys, listen here. Don't call girls, listen here. No, children listen here, because everybody is equal. There is no gender difference. So then these days we talk about, there is a lot of, clamor going on about gender equality and all. In Kerala, I heard that in one of the colleges, Maharaja College in Ernakulam, they set up the gender-friendly toilet also. So the age is, going in such a way that they demand gender equality everywhere. So the college has set up gender equality toilet. Both male and female can use the same gender friendly toilet in Maharaja's college. So this is the situation scenario now. In such scenario, we cannot have boys and girls in the classroom, only children in the classroom. And the task should not be, okay, boys, you are boys, boys do this task, girls do this task. No, we have to bring equality in everything, everybody, everywhere. So that is it. That is about gender sensitivity, and teachers should know the safety measures of students, and the child rights, especially the child rights of students. And if anything goes wrong, we will be in trouble. So though we call gender equality and all, we have to ensure the safety of children in the campus. And we have to give them, classes like, untouchable, touchability and all. No. So these things are very important in the day-to-day classroom transactions. So we have to be very careful. And the child right practices, students know it better than teachers. Students know their rights better than us. They know the helpline numbers also. So we have to be very careful in terms of our gender sensitivity practices. So let us not have any differentiation in this aspect. So let's quickly read Anuradha, ma'am, please.
Yes, gender sensitivity. To assess if the teacher has a gender sensitive outlook, equal academic and behavioral expectations from all learners, irrespective of their gender. Am I sensitive towards the issue through relevant knowledge and skills? Do I know that gender sensitivity does not mean sensitivity towards one gender? Do I have ample theoretical knowledge, practical skills to deal with gender sensitive issues? Am I aware of child rights? Do I have bonding with the students to gauge their comfort level? Do I create an atmosphere of gender equality in the classroom? Do I take account of gender when planning activities? Do I encourage activities that address this issue and raise awareness and acceptance of the other gender? Do I discuss sensitive topics with the students and seek their ideas on how to resolve issues arising due to an insensitive approach? Do I encourage and appreciate a broad-minded and balanced approach? Do I contribute in the creation of quiz, role plays, activities to gauge the level of gender sensitivity in a classroom? Do I pick newspaper clippings of news items and seeking opinions from the students on this topic? Do I teach the students the value of gender equality and acceptance by using a variety of activities?
Thank you.
Sir,
ma'am.
if I may.
Yeah.
I would like to say that in India, we still have it quite easy at this level, because in the Western world, there is this awareness about gender fluidity and things like that. The children are so sensitive. They're very, very sensitive about their genders. And I have read reports about teachers being sent to prison, or they've been sued for addressing the students in a wrong way, and children have taken it very personally. The awareness level over there is too much, which is counterproductive, I feel. In India, we still have it easy at this stage to a large extent.
Correct.
In America, it is really, really bad, actually.
Yes, and it is teachers' responsibility to bring this awareness among children also, because they should not address others also in a different way, because there are not only two genders, there are more than two genders,
Absolutely.
available in the, I mean, society. So transgender, when we talk about transgender, we have to be very careful. We have to, so that is why even if there is no transgender in the classroom, we should make awareness among the children through your classroom assemblies or common assemblies. It's very important that we bring this sensitive issue awareness about, say, this sensitive thing. Thank you, Sarita ma'am. Moving to, so participants, within 15 minutes we will finish. The rest are very few only. Now we talk about ethics. So when we talk about ethics, it all matters, that you can see the picture tells very well. Sometimes, the confrontation happens in the classroom as well between teachers. So that is a very bad practice. If there is a problem issue with the two teachers, it should not be brought to the front of the students. And the way we communicate with the students in front of others also, these all are etiquettes. As a teacher, we have to have very fine etiquettes. So ethics is one of the most important thing, and these all are pointing to our behavior, the way we talk, the way we present ourselves. Everything matters a lot. So let us be very careful about ethics. Do not do any confrontation in front of children, and also do not scold or sometimes I have heard complaints that parents come and say that my child was abused in front of others. And why the teacher has said, why your parents always complain to the child? Or something like, your parents are always like that. So such kind of remarks should not be made in the classroom. Nowadays, every small child is an individual. The new generation, you have to see that the child feels the child is very sensitive, and he feels that he is an individual from the young age itself. So we have to treat the children with the utmost, finest etiquettes in the classroom. So, so in order to have this etiquettes and all, we have to know the child psychology, and accordingly we have to behave. That is what I told you. In front of no confrontation in front, no scolding, no rebuking in front of the classroom. You have to have private conferences, meetings with the child in order to correct the child. So this whatever we have, I have said are there in the checklist. We can quickly read. Sarita, may quickly read the checklist.
Yes, ethics sensitivity. To assess if the teacher demonstrates an ability to develop positivity and empathy among students, to help them incorporate an ethical approach during decision-making processes. Do I have an in-depth knowledge of child psychology and socially, legally, morally acceptable behavior? Do I have awareness and identification of diversity in the classroom? Do I have one-on-one interaction with the students to understand their level of sensitivity regarding ethics? Do I have periodic follow-up of the emotional quotient of the students? Am I able to perceive and interpret any events in ways that lead to ethical action? Am I able to enhance awareness and encourage the culture of ethics sensitivity? Am I able to respond to the vulnerable students? Do I know how to respect the issues among the students and keep them confidential, sharing them only with the school counselor or likewise? Am I able to endorse ethical sensitivity as a type of everyday wisdom? Am I able to prevent any kind of bias? Do I organize open-ended discussions and seek solutions from the students to a given situation which involves ethical sensitivity, to visualize several alternative actions in response to that situation? Am I able to create a team of students who act as ethical emissaries who are given the responsibility of the general welfare among peers?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Well, it is clearly said that we have to have children as in the process as partners. We have to involve them, and we can also make ethical emissaries. You can form a team of ethical emissaries who are role models to others, and they sensitize children about the ethics to be followed. You have to use the school assemblies for bringing out the best ethics to be practiced in the classroom, because students, they do not know what is wrong, what is right in terms of their behavior and ethics. So it is our responsibility to make them sensitize them about these things, and involve the students. In my school, I used to ask teachers to enact classroom situations. And these classroom situations, when which sometimes I hear the students are complaining that he is bullying me, like he's because I am a bit dark in complexion, he is bullying me, calling me dark, black and all. So this is kind of sensitization required, which you can use your school assemblies enacting these kinds of scenarios, so that students come to know how to behave in public and in the classroom. Moving to the next, quickly we will go to the research. This is all about the research competence. We should be able to upgrade ourselves, as everybody has said. Upgrade ourselves through research, take time to read or what the best practices happening in the field of education. And there are journals available. We have more and more e-journals available nowadays. Please subscribe to such journals, and you will get ample knowledge for research competence. So we are not reading this, we are quickly skipping this, and this is very important, pedagogical competence. As I have said, you cannot have the same pedagogical practice in a classroom. You have to see the mode of the classroom. You cannot teach a classroom which is sleeping or sleepy. So you have to have some activities, and you have to switch over the techniques, the pedagogies according to the size, the level of the learners, the diverse learners. So the same thing we have already dealt with, pedagogical competence. Very important, assessment strategies. Sometimes we take it for granted that, okay, this child is so and so, this child is so and so, and this child I am giving this much, this child I am giving this much. No, we have to see that every child is unique. So we have to have strategic assessment strategies, very practical, very realistic assessment strategy. And you must be knowing three kinds of assessments for learning, off learning, as learning. For learning is summative assessment. Off learning is what do you call? For learning is formative assessment. Off learning is summative assessment. That is, we conduct at the end of a particular period. Then we have as learning, that sometimes children themselves, they assess themselves as peer assessors. So these kinds of assessments we should practice in the classroom, very importantly. Behavior. When we talk about behavior, we should be the role model, and very important that when we, the way we respond back also is very important. Somebody was talking about patience as one of the qualities of teachers. Very important. It is patience is very important. I remember one narrative when the man driving a car was he saw one car very moving very slowly in front of him. He kept honking his car, but the car does not move fast. He is in a hurry to go, and it went on like that. After some time, this man notices that there is a sticker on the board of that particular car in front of him that physically challenged on board. Please have patience. The moment the driver read this, all his anger has vanished. So this is the importance. Does it mean that when to have patience, we have to have a sticker in front of somebody's forehead? No, we have to practice it. And I definitely appreciate teachers for being patient with the students. And that is one of the things when we, reply back also, sometimes students are very, they are very small. Sometimes they become very naughty as well. But we as, what do you call, grown up and matured people, we have to have a very good composed behavior, and also your appearance when you appear before the class. I have seen, some teachers come in very, very good clothing and all. Some teachers very casually they come, because you have to understand that students do imitate each and everything of what teachers uh, show, demonstrate, the appearance and everything. See, when somebody dies, that particular person is wrapped in a new cloth only, right? It is not required that new cloth should be used for wrapping the body. And we are going to somewhere, we don't know. We are going to where we came from. There also where we are going, when after death we are going in new clothing. But when we leave, we are using all the clothing. What sense it makes? Whatever we have, use it now. Some may be using a lot of things in the shelf, unused. When are we going to use? Lot of things in the shelf, lot of things in the cupboard, lot of clothes. When are we going to use? So let us appear before children the finest person with the best clothing we have. That is our behavior, first behavior. Then how we respond. Then the way we give opportunity to students to room for students to interact, think and all. Then you create thinking, habits and adaptability. So this is very important. One of the standards, competency of teachers, critical thinking, to enhance the critical thinking and adaptability in students. Very important, constitutional values. I don't know how many schools have this constitution displayed in the classroom, in every classroom, or at least in front of the school. And students should be, sensitized about the need to respect our constitution, need to respect elders, need to respect our flag and all. All schools are doing very good. But I would like to request everyone to have a constitution copy in every classroom and use it in every day's assembly in one or the other way. You can use Kit or something, what do you call, any activity you can use. Constitutional values. These are word of constitutional values. You have to make awareness. Then we have, yes, very important, stakeholder satisfaction. Sometimes we lose our control, as we said, sometimes some parents come and, shout at us. It may not be because of us, but sometimes some may be because of us. But whatever is the reason, we should be reply back in a very sophisticated manner. We have to, as teachers are known for their patience, and we have to practice that in front of the stakeholders. Use, sometimes teachers, you call parents only to tell them issues. Then they become angry. We have to call not only to tell them issues. First, your first call should be to the parent about the child's positive thing. Your child was very attentive today. He is smart. He has, very good vocabulary, this thing, that thing, all the positive things. Then you say about the negative thing. This area we have to take care of. No parent will be furious ever if you have a very good rapport with the parent. So that has to be practiced. We call it, sandwich method and all. Please do practice, so that don't call for only for problems or fees, only for problems or issues or fees, but for telling the child's strengths. And after telling the child's strength, you can bring in weakness in between and work together. We have to work together for removing this weakness of the child. And teachers contact outside classroom. Outside classroom, how we behave, whether we engage in learning from others, whether we engage in reading books, whether we engage in exchanging ideas, whether we engage in facilitating any activities with others, or we engage in gossiping with others. It all matters. So sometimes, most of the time, we spend in gossiping. A very weak mind speaks about others. Strong mind speaks about ideas. Strong mind speaks about ideas. We should all have strong minds. Let us do not have weak minds that will end up in gossip. So next is inside the classroom, a role model, as I said, taking care of the child, unique learner. The uniqueness of the child is very important, and accordingly, you are a guide, you are a nurse, you are a friend for the child. When your face facial expression tells the child what to be done, no need to shout. Your facial expression, your body language is enough for the child to understand what is required. That kind of rapport should be built. Some teachers wants to be, some teachers I have seen, they become popular among the students by being over friendly with them. And what happens as a result, when a teacher is over friendly with them and dance with them to their tunes, the children, they do not know, they expect the same with other teachers, and there is clash. So we have to have a very refined policy in terms of our behavior inside, outside the classroom. Then about ethics, same thing. We are talking about ethics, same thing. I will be sharing this checklist with you so that you can go through and tick when you get time. This is very important as CBSE teachers. How many of you know about CBSE policies and all? CBSE has given handbook for teachers, and how many of you have read the National Education Policy? First question. Second thing is, how many of you have read these handbooks for teachers? Second thing, how many of us know where we get the circulars from CBSE? Where it is available? Where is the affiliation, part in CBSE website? Affiliation, accreditation. Anuradha, ma'am, please read this last one.
Yes, sir. Awareness about CBSE policies. This aspect will assess the teachers' awareness about CBSE policies, websites, important initiatives, assessment practices, etc. Am I aware of the recent circulars issued by CBSE? Do I know how about hubs of learning? Do I have information about subject change procedure? Do I know about the subject combinations students cannot opt for? Am I aware of the latest pedagogical practices recommended by CBSE? Do I know that I have to make an annual pedagogical plan for each of the subjects and grades I teach? Am I aware of the guidelines on experiential learning and art integrated learning released by CBSE? Do I know about the eligibility criteria for students for taking board examinations? Am I aware of the CBSE circular on strengthening assessment practices? Am I aware that I should facilitate 1 period of mandatory sports per day as a class teacher? Do I know which website to refer for academic inputs by CBSE? Do I know about the CBSE website for examination, administration, or affiliation?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, both Sarita ma'am and Anuradha ma'am, for your help. Hope we have done justice to your expectations. Actually, this is a very vast topic, and though we are very well versed about all these requirements, but meeting these requirements is a challenge that requires kind of enthusiasm, time, and dedication. Of course, all teachers are very enthusiastic. Otherwise, they will not attend this session. I do understand. We do recognize and appreciate the teachers who have attended this session. We have received nearly 2,000 registrations for this session. That means that good number of teachers are very well committed and dedicated. They want to do a lot of contribution to the country, and they are the true nation builders. So once again, I appreciate your efforts, your time. You spent 1 hour, more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours you spent today. Definitely, it is not going to be useless. It will help you a lot, and we will share this manual. There are two manuals from CBSE and NTCE. We will share with all the educators. Please do something for our children for quality education. We have to work hand in hand, everybody together, then only we can bring the desired result. Let us work together as the requirement goes. Please make sure that everything is, well monitored and managed by us, so that we have a very safe and conducive learning at school level. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anuradha ma'am and Sarita ma'am. Anuradha ma'am, you can wind up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I can see in the chat box lots of appreciation for you, sir. And your words of wisdom have added on the intellectual pursuits of our esteemed participants. I would like to extend our gratitude and appreciation for Dr. Abdul Salam for enlightening us with boundless discourse. I'm sure we are better equipped. We can follow the checklist to make lesson plans, regularly reflect on ourselves, keep ourselves updated, and work on self so that we can all become one of the Kushal Shikshak or the expert teacher. Dear participants, kindly note the link for certificate and feedback form has been already posted. You are requested to fill it up and with all the necessary details. And also, as sir said, please do check the spam folder as well in case you don't get the certificate. I, Anuradha Ravindran, along with Extra Mile Education and Training, would like to thank Dr. Abdul Salam for his boundless support and guidance. Thank you, sir, for such a great opportunity. Thank you, Biju sir and Sarita ma'am, for your presence and help. Above all, I would want to express my gratitude to each and every one of our amazing participants who have been prompt in the chat box and very active. And I think most of the points which sir wanted were already mentioned in the chat box also. So I think we are in the right track, sir. So who have been the life of the session by constantly filling the chat box with their questions and comprehensions. Your enthusiasm motivates us to come up with many more such interesting sessions. I sincerely hope we earned the privilege of your time. We shall meet you in the next engaging session with another distinguished resource. Thank you, everyone. May you all continue to be happy and wise. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. The tremendous help given by Anuradha ma'am and Sarita ma'am is truly appreciated. Thank you so much. Without your help, I would have been in trouble.
No,
So
sir.
you have made my task,
Always
easy.
a pleasure, sir, and an honor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. It was an excellent, job done by Anuradha ma'am, equally by Sarita ma'am, and all participants. We do admire, participants who frequently attend our sessions and do take away for their professional development. So you are all really role models. So we are very much proud of you. Keep connected, keep learning. We learn more from Extra Mile. Thank you so much. If you want, some of you may not be able to see the link also. I will be displaying the QR codes you can use for your feedback. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
everybody. Biju sir is there. Biju sir, thank you for coming.